Carry on. We Japanese have two basic Japanese words that mean getting angry at someone and scolding at someone. These are shikaru and okoru. Shikaru, okoru. Basically, these two Japanese words are the same meaning, except for the difference of subtle nuance between them in a Japanese dictionary. But I don't know how long ago in a Japanese society people has come to change the definition of these two Japanese words separately to use these two Japanese words as different words. Like, okoru means getting angry with someone. But in contrast, shikaru means lecturing someone for their mistakes, for someone's mistakes and misunderstanding and failure or something. But actually, there is a Japanese word relevant to a word of lecture, except for the word of shikaru, which is sekkyo, sekkyo. But sekkyo gives us more negative meaning, negative feeling that like someone is persistently blaming you for your failure, mistakes, or something. But apparently in a Japanese society, people don't want to use a word of sekkyo as much as possible that reminds us of harassment or abusive behaviors to someone. But Japanese people need a Japanese word that affirms lecturing possibly. So that's why a word of shikaru has come to be used as a meaning of the word of English word of lecture in a positive way in the Japanese society. So as you can understand from this story, Japanese people absolutely believe that subordinates in a Japanese company will grow up and make progress while boss and seniors possibly take the stance to give a lecture to subordinates and sometimes get angry with subordinates for their misunderstanding, mistakes, and failure or something. And this is on the premise that subordinates must be honest to boss and seniors anytime in a Japanese society. So there are so many Japanese websites on the internet that explain the effectivity of and importance of lecturing subordinates in a Japanese workplace. But Japanese people never have the doubts about if this prerequisites that boss and seniors must take the stance to give a lecture to subordinates about their mistakes and misunderstanding and failure is a correct. This is, I think sometimes this is a really stupid peer pressure and no one in Japan wonder if this prerequisite wrong. So Japanese people are really weak at thinking something by themselves, and they frequently assume that something that has already existed in front of them is the truth without doubt, whatever it is, right? So lecturing someone exists as a common sense and the best way to develop a subordinates in a Japanese society, even now. So generally, in a Japanese company, a company tends to assign similar tasks to workers and arouse competitive spirits of workers in a company. And if a worker can't even achieve the task, boss or seniors just give a lecture to a worker to improve effectivity of the task. But I saw a manager who did the opposite to this way in a Japanese company. He assigned a difficult task to a worker with a good ability, and he assigned easy tasks to a worker with a no good ability. This is a really reasonable way to assign tasks to subordinates in a Japanese company. So their achievement situation is honestly reflected on employment assessment. But this manager has the primary thought that no matter seriously I lecture my subordinates about their no good achievements, there's no guarantee that their business performance can be improved in his deep mind. So for example, conversation between this manager and the subordinates who wasn't able to submit an assigned homework is like this. Manager, today is the deadline of report submission. Do you have the report? A subordinate, I'm sorry, I haven't done yet. a manager, how long will it take to finish it off? A subordinate, I'm sorry, I will finish this by tomorrow, absolutely. Manager, can you show me the progress of your report right now? A subordinate, okay, here. And a manager, all right, you're okay with it. Thank you very much. And a manager just received the report of the subordinates. But I thought he just started lecturing him or getting angry with him about an incomplete assigned homework. But he didn't do that, right? And after he received the report from a subordinate, incomplete report from a subordinate, he just assigned it to another person who was capable of doing that task until the next deadline. So, and he assigned another easy task to this subordinate, and he saw how it went. And when a subordinate finished this task completely and submitted to his manager, a manager gave him a little bit more difficult task. So when, in contrast, when a subordinate didn't finish an assigned task, a manager gave him a little bit more easier task. So a manager often said like, current ability that he has is the one he cultivated for 20 or 30 years since he started working. So I don't think he can change and improve something largely with my words in the lecture. And he also said like, whether or not subordinates did their work and whether or not subordinates become enthusiastic about their task is totally out of my territory. So he is quite businesslike. So all my responsibility is how I can make a good performance in this section of this company as a whole. So this way of thinking gives me the point of view to doubt the prerequisites that lecturing is thought to be absolute way to develop subordinate in a Japanese company, in a Japanese society.